Greetings. Welcome to Speak Nerd and Enter.
All right, welcome, Speak Nerd and Enter. Mark, want some pudding?
I would love some pudding, yes.
What do you say?
Please.
No, that's the first part. Want some pudding? I just
Draw a
said
blank,
that's the
man.
first part.
Yes, I would like some pudding. Thank you, please. Sir,
Please,
may I have
there
some
you
more?
go. Please. Very good. Okay, so want some pudding?
Please.
What do you say?
Thank you.
Are you a good boy?
Not really. I mean, yes.
Are you
yes.
a good boy?
I'm contractually obligated to say yes.
Yes, sir. Are you a
Don't know
bad
if that's
boy?
pushing it. Yes, sir.
No. Are you a good boy? Yes,
Ye-
sir. Are
yes,
you
sir.
a bad boy?
No.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, ready? So, want some pudding?
No, slow down. Hold on. Yes, please.
Slow down. This should be the test they give people. Want some pudding?
Yes, please.
Please. Just please. What
I
do you
said
say?
Please. Oh, please.
What do you say?
Thank you.
Are you a good boy?
Yes.
Are you a bad
Sir.
boy?
No, sir.
There you go. See, now you got it. Now you got it.
Thank you, sir. May I have some more?
Kelly.
That was disturbing.
No, that was awesome.
I know, wasn't it? I don't know where we're going with that, but
For anyone who knows what that's from, that is awesome.
I feel like I've engaged in something private.
No, that is from the opening to Last
Wicked.
Dance for Napkin Lad from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, where Meatwad was watching the clown show and the clown was singing that song, and Meatwad was answering. And
It's a
Shake
deep
was
cut.
sitting there, and I was waiting for Shake to, murder Meatwad or something. But he surprised me. Instead, he got into the song and started answering with vigor through that for like the next, minute and a half before he, tired of it. And it was
It's a
just
deep cut.
awesome.
Deep.
It is, but it was awesome. It
That
was
is
awesome.
very good. Deep cut.
Yes. I taught that song to one of my coworkers up at work. Actually, a couple of them up at work, and they loved it. Because you're right. You could think it's something else, but it's not. It's just a straight up kid song being sung by a clown to a man made of meat and a cup of milkshake. Who it happens to
that
be
is
a
quality
master.
entertainment.
So, anyway, thank you, Mark. That was an awesome rendition. We'll practice that again. It'll get smoother in the future. Okay. So, with us today is, of course, Rich.
Hello.
And as always, the K-Man.
What's up?
Hey. Who I saw recently. Oh, by the way, I have entered into the, because, everybody grieves in different ways, and Kelly and I, of course, are brothers. So we share a mother, and she is no longer with us. And I have noticed that I have entered the stage of grief that I enter with anyone who means anything to me. Eventually I get around to ridiculing them and making jokes.
I'm going to take that as a compliment.
Yes, making jokes at them and that sort of thing. And I've entered into that phase. I had one of the people I worked with, this lady who was a wonderful lady, very kind. And she was asking me about my New Year's and all. And I said, well, my mom died, so kind of ruined it. And she's like, oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. So sorry. I said, what are you sorry for? You didn't kill her, did you?
What an unexpected direction. No
And people-
condolences. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you
That's
kill
right.
him?
Then she responded, "You don't remember me, do you?"
No, no. I told her, I said, because it of course took her aback a little bit and she wasn't sure whether to laugh or what, that kind of thing. And I explained to her, how we kind of joke around with stuff like that. And I said, if you had answered me with, "Oh, what's the matter? Did your mommy die? Oh, what are you going to do? You going to cry now?" Something. I said, I would have laughed out loud. That would have been amazing. She, of course, was horrified and wouldn't do that. But I was just thinking to myself, everyone does grieve in different ways. And I have entered that stage of grief. So that, and of course, Jimmy Carter dying, which
I'm sure your tears were endless for that.
well, all the work he did with Peanuts, who doesn't?
He's 100 years old, man.
Yeah.
he had his
Yeah,
shot.
that's a pretty good run.
Great run.
Yeah, that
All
is.
too young. All too.
I'm sure that last couple of years wasn't very good.
He
all
got
too
his
brief.
he got his initials up on the video game on that one.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did he the oldest?
Yeah, high score.
Didn't he make it to the oldest?
Yes.
I think he was.
100 is the oldest.
I think so. Yeah. Man.
I mean, they
So-
had him on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm saying he was, he wasn't
Yeah,
having a great time there at the end.
No, I know, but who does? I mean,
Yeah.
well, I
That's
guess
fair.
Betty White had a good go of it, and I've heard of some people. Heard of this one dude. His father was from, or his grandfather, excuse me, from Russia. Good solid stock from Russia. Kind of the Siberian
Strong
tough
like
as
bull.
nails kind of thing. And he went until the day he died, where he was out for a walk and sat down next to a tree, and then that was it, gone. No, no, nothing. I was thinking to myself, yeah, that's kind of a good way to go. I think,
Yep.
Either that or throwing yourself in front of a train to save some 12-year-old girl or something suitably heroic, something like that. But I mean, those are good ways to go, So anyway, that's what we've been up to. Dealing with that stuff. Although, Mark, we did get a good milkshake out of that.
Yeah, yes, I did. We went to
Yeah.
the yard.
Yes, we did. We went to the yard. Kelly, you should have gone with us.
Yeah, I should have, but obvious reasons I couldn't. But I have a yard here. There's a yard here.
Does it have milkshakes? Does it bring all the boys?
I've not gone, so no.
Not all of them.
And for those that do not know, the yard is a ridiculously overpriced bougie milkshake place
Yes.
that makes amazing milkshakes. That
Is
are
it bougie
very
though? Because
expensive,
it's
but
messy.
I think it's
It's
yeah.
kind of, I don't know. I think it's.
I
kinda
mean, I
bougie.
agree with you, but I don't know.
It's a little
I
bougie.
guess it's overpriced.
And when you think bougie, not fancy, I agree with you. It's not fancy.
Yeah.
It's a little Cold Stone Creamery like.
yeah.
Is
some
the
more
restaurant
like that.
chain owned by that
Yeah,
performer?
yeah.
Because obviously it's inspired by the performer.
No, I don't think it's the.
It's a
no.
riff on the song, yes,
Right.
but
Yeah, it was
Right.
It was something that was on Shark Tank, and apparently took off. So, went up there to try it out because I saw the pictures of the milkshakes, and they're, like Mark said, they're ridiculous, and how they look and all that. But man, it was good. It's good, enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's very
yes, it
American.
was.
Yeah, it was like the barbecue of milkshakes, where it just gets everywhere. And
Mhm. I appreciated that they had a big washout sink because
Yeah.
you've got this glass thing that your milkshake, commemorative glass with the logo on it that they serve the milkshake in. Yeah, it's like a jar, but you can go clean it out and take it with you without having peanut butter all over the
I
the
can clean it out?
jar and whatnot.
you can.
I don't
Yeah,
want to
you
go
gotta do it
buy a
yourself.
chore.
No, you did. You bought a chore, but you were happy to do it.
Yep.
I'm leaving it there then. Fuck it.
Oh, you should have gone. You wouldn't have left it. You'd have kept it along with your 351
Mhm.
portrait back there.
You wouldn't have gone to the sink. You would have licked every iota of peanut butter off that rim.
Interesting. You said it was on
Off
Shark Tank,
everyone's
right?
rim.
Yeah.
You said it
That
was
was-
on Shark Tank, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I just looked it up. Yeah, it's family owned. It's interesting. They have 31 locations.
Really, I didn't know that many. Did
Yeah.
you see the picture of the milkshake?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You see what I mean? Yeah, you get an entire banana on
Well,
top, or a
I
whole
mean, it's
cupcake, and
it's
No,
dedicated to
I'd
one-
go on record
one
and say
thing.
that it was the best part of your mother's death.
thank you. You know, that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot, and I would agree with you. Yeah, I think that's true. The best part, if you're gonna die or have someone die,
At
Yeah.
least make sure people get milkshakes.
yeah, at least top it off with a really nice milkshake, and that was good. Yeah, I agree with you, Mark.
Yes. Thank you, Penny.
I do apologize again for not being able to attend, but the class I taught did go off well. So
I'm sure that my mom in heaven is very pleased that your class went well.
I hope so.
Way to
I
make
hope
it about you, Rich.
I mean, I was.
That's right. Way to make it about you.
I mean, it did cement me
Although
as a professional educator.
I was talking to Russ the other night
Yeah. Was he
and
whitewater
mentioned
rafting?
the funeral. He didn't know anything about it. He's not on the email group
Oh, he's
that
not?
we set up. Yeah, like I went and looked and he's not there. So I probably sent him an invite that he never saw because I have his email address and I was like, what do you mean you know? Because I half expected to see him there. So in Russell's defense, he didn't know anything about it.
He would have been there. Russ
He would have been there. He totally would have
would
been there.
not.
Come on.
He wouldn't have been there. I still to this
I'm going to
day
give him
not-
the benefit of the doubt.
I'm
So.
not.
But anyway, I wanted to share that
remember
with you
why-
guys in case you were like, "Where's Russ?"
No, you remember why
Was
he
it-
wasn't at my dad's funeral?
Oh, I remember. I
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah. So no, I don't think so.
Well, in all
No, I
fairness,
think the guilt of the first one may have compelled him
Nah.
to come.
in all fairness,
Second.
funerals are kind of a bummer. You know,
Yeah, and like
No, I
Tuesday at
agree.
10 a.m. What the heck? If you want people to attend, you got to have it on Saturday morning. Come on, next
No,
time.
see, I agree
Plan
with
right.
you. And remember, I was saying I don't think we should have funerals or the service. It should just be if you want everybody to have a good time and memories and that sort
Celebration,
of
yeah.
thing. Just don't even have the funeral. I mean, it doesn't matter for you. You're not there, you know, and it's really not any closure. It's not. Doesn't take the pain away. Doesn't help with any of that stuff. If you really want to do something worthwhile, tell everybody take the day off, use that bereavement leave and all of that. Go do something nice. Go do something that makes you guys happy and gives you a good memory to carry the rest of your lives. You know, that's what it should be. And at least in my opinion, that's what it should be, instead of everyone very, very maudlin situation with a lot of pain and roughness. You know, I kind of prefer the other way.
No, I hear you, but we still have never had a service for my dad when he passed away because
Yeah.
COVID and all the whatever. And so we are
Your dad
missing
passed away?
some sense of. Yes, he did many years ago. But you know what I'm saying? Like my family, they don't want my mom to like be sad or something, you know. So they're like, oh, we
Yeah.
can't do a thing that would, you know, let you experience those feelings and have that last goodbye. So like there is something missing, having never had that formal
But
sending
bear in
off,
mind-
whether it's a happy thing or whether it's a sad thing, you know, like we haven't had that, and that is a thing that we've noticed.
Bear in
Yeah.
mind, though, the difference between the two is your mom's still alive. Ours, there were no parents left to, you know.
As long as we keep your coworker away from her, yes, she is.
Yeah, we didn't. So there's no one behind who needs the service. You know what I mean? And for that kind of purpose, I'm not going to naysay your mom or anything like that or any of that stuff. Not at all. But I told Helena, I said, you know, and she said the same thing. Don't do that. Don't sit there and be maudlin and all upset and wasting the time doing that sort of thing. Already know how you feel about me. Already know, you know, all that stuff. I get it. I want you to be happy. Have some goodness, and especially at a moment like that, try to have a distraction, a good memory instead of the awful stuff.
no, I want people to have full on breakdowns. I want tears. I want people crawling in on their hands and knees. I want the
I'm
wailing.
gonna hurl myself onto your casket, wailing like a banshee.
No.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
we'll do is we'll do like in Old Jerusalem, and we'll hire people to come out
Perfect.
and wail.
Yeah, I'm gonna get those dudes from Africa to put Kelly's casket up there and dance all the way to the.
Yeah, I want everybody to lucky pair my casket.
Yeah.
Let's see how much weight those straps can hold before they lower me in.
Lucky pair,
It's
Kelly.
interesting. We've all reached the age where we're all fatherless at this point. So
Yeah.
we've
Wow,
all gotten
yeah.
old enough that we are all, even though happened at different times, we've all reached the age now where we're all fatherless.
Yeah.
Interesting state to be in.
Yeah. Yeah. Parentless, actually. Not Mark, but
No, me neither. I still have my mother.
No, I get it, but
hanging on.
I mean, well, Kelly and I, two of us, half of us here.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we win.
No.
Our scars are deeper than yours. You don't know our pain. Shut up. See how much more livable it makes such moments when you can be ridiculous,
Yeah. Well,
So anyway, that's how the holiday was. My mother died on my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Died on my
Hey,
birthday.
to make it about you, Sean.
Yes. Oh, she made it about me. That was the thing. Mom made sure I wouldn't forget. Because she knew I was horrible with remembering dates and all that stuff. So she made sure. Week after Christmas, week after Thanksgiving, couple before Christmas, died on my birthday. And so she got it smack dab right in the middle of all the heavy hitters, during the year. Yeah, she did.
Picked up the spare on her way out.
Yeah, she did.
Stepped up to bat, pointed
Somehow,
to the outfield.
And see, somehow I think that's her playing a joke on me. I think that's her laughing on her way out.
You think you like holidays? Take this. Never have a good one without me again. Peace out.
I used to have such arguments with her about why she had to make such a big deal about birthdays and all that, and just, Mom, I don't want this for my birthday. Can't we just, I want to stay home, like eat cake batter or something. And I don't want to do a big party or any of that stuff. No, you gotta, that kind of thing. So yeah, I think that was her. Now I remember that in elementary school, there was one time she asked me, what do you want to do for your birthday? And I told her I wanted to eat cake batter and play Atari. And she let me. She let me make cake batter. Let me do that. Back in the day when you could eat cake batter without everyone screaming salmonella.
Without getting salmonella, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, that's
cake batter and cookie dough.
And Mark, I want you to know, again, I said it then, but I want you to know, and I want the whole world to know, you are an amazing friend. You're a good dude. You really are. Good man. I know Kelly won't say it. So
I appreciate that.
No, he did compliment my attire, but that's as far as I want to take that.
Kelly, that was amazing. Your whole Dieter outfit, that was great. Yeah.
Yeah, I told Kelly he looked like he should be, what was it? Is either teaching a college class or writing a novel.
Yeah,
right?
I told him
he just had that look.
I told him he reminded me of Mike Myers from SNL, his character of Dieter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The German guy, remember, with the monkey? Touch my monkey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what he reminded me of. So
no, it was surreal because I had to buy something for the funeral, right? And so I went out on Black Friday, and because of the timing,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm texting Tammy because I'm walking around shopping for clothes for a funeral while there's like Happy Christmas music playing in the department store. And I walked into one store and they had like a doorbuster giveaway, and it was an elf movie themed snow globe, and they were like, "Here, happy holidays." Like, I'm giving this away.
Did you tell them why you were there?
No.
Oh, see, that would have been perfect. That would have been absolutely perfect. They just handed you that, and they're trying to be, all cheerful, and you just hit them. Oh, that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Would have taken a lot of. well, I guess not so much acting, but it would have taken a lot of, presence and being in the moment with that, and a lot of effort, to be able
Yeah.
to, but the payoff would have been great. That would have been
I had
awesome.
Oh,
I
thank
had
you. I'll bury this with my mother.
I hadn't quite hit the humor phase. That didn't hit till I was at your house, Sean.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I got one of those induction cooktops.
Oh.
I got one. I got it installed right after you left, Kelly. And I will
Probably for
tell
the
you,
best.
that thing is amazing. Did you know that they came out with that technology back in, I think, the 20s or 30s, something like that? And for some reason, it didn't catch on. I am so pissed off at humanity. Another example of why mankind cannot be trusted to do anything.
Did you have to go buy new pots and pans?
No. All our pots and pans are pretty much steel and, iron and stuff anyway. But I will tell you this, that thing is a beast. I turned that thing on to boil some water. Dude, it took seconds for that thing to get
Is that
going.
the thing, is that you need to use steel pans?
Yeah, something that's fair.
Yeah, like
You have to have
aluminum
something
doesn't
that's
really
fair.
work or something. Yeah.
Right, you have to have something ferrous there in order for it to work. But oh my gosh, that thing is amazing.
Yeah, no, we had one of those at the last house we lived at that we were renting, had an induction cooktop. So,
and I
needed
tested
to
it
get
out.
some new pans.
I took a paper towel because I was thinking, the whole reason I got it is because I wanted something that's going to be easy to clean up, the surface of it. And so I started testing it out. I cooked on top of the stove with a paper towel underneath the pan and cooked the whole thing, got done. Paper towel was fine. A couple minutes later, you can actually put your hand on the cooktop without burning it. It was really cool. Yeah, I like
As
it
you
a
do
lot.
with cooktops.
What's that?
As you do with cooktops, just.
Yeah, when you get,
Yeah.
when
I
you
wonder
have
if this
magic-
is hot.
When you have a miracle of magic like that in your house, you do that. You do such things. Set babies on there. And you do whatever you can.
Alina, watch this.
Cat struggling.
Yeah. Come on, you pussy. Anyway, so anyhow, I saw the 40K episode on Amazon, and I just
watch
wanted
that at your place.
Yep, and I
The
just
secret
wanted
level?
to say, because that came out right about that time.
Yeah.
And I've been dying to talk about that. I was at first when I watched it, I will say this, I was cautiously upset or concerned, I suppose would be the word. Concerned, because as I'm watching it, I'm thinking to myself, this looks a lot like Astartes. I can see a lot of inspiration from
Same guy, wasn't it?
Astartes. Well,
Same guy was hired to do that.
Let me finish my story.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Now there's no point. Okay.
Okay.
Never
It wasn't
mind.
fast enough.
We've got to fill out an hour episode.
I see. Yeah. So let's do the bullet points. My mother died, got an induction oven, saw Astartes. Same dude did it. All right, thanks, guys.
I'm learning.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in.
Speed review of all your nerd news.
Yeah. So
Drew would have let you finish.
yeah.
Go get him. Go get him. Please. I'd already be at the gym this morning.
Yeah, you would. Who are you kidding? You wouldn't be at the gym.
Well, I would.
Unless you're talking about the cops' gym. Getting that jelly-filled weight.
No. Never was a fan of the power rings myself.
If I wasn't here, I could be at Waffle House. So
You would be. Yeah, there you would be.
yeah. No, it's too crowded at Waffle House.
I thought Waffle House.
I don't think so. I think
No,
Waffle House is going gangbusters.
Yeah, Waffle House is going to be around for a long time.
Gangbusters is probably an appropriate term for Waffle House.
So anyway, well, I like doesn't feel like it's worth talking about now.
No, I
Yeah.
thought
So
it
you're
was,
telling me it was the same guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was awesome. I thought it was really well done. I liked it. And if that's and the thing was is that as I was watching that, I was thinking, okay, now this is what Amazon does with this material. Great. I think they've really got something because I thought it was really really well done. Um, but then in the back of my mind, it's the same old thing, which is I just know Amazon's got their hands on it, and
Yeah.
you know,
I will say this. I think the reason it was so awesome is because apparently the gentleman who did Astartes, I can't remember his name.
oh, I didn't know it was the same guy.
Sam something. Um, Simu, yeah, Simu something. I can't remember his last name, but I think the reason it was so awesome is because they did the right thing. Games Workshop did. They
Sayama
got the
Peterson.
guy involved who did a great job. Got the guy involved who did the right thing with it. And instead of just trying to rip him off or something like that, actually got him involved and said, you know what? You got something here. You storyboard this thing. You take care of that, and we're going to follow along. That was great. That was great thinking on their part and all of that. And I think because it was so short and in such a series as this, they didn't get any notes from Amazon. There was nobody there to say, oh, you should do this or do this, because it's kind of a 15-minute, or I think it was 15, whatever it was, a 15-minute throwaway, right? Not really much to lose on it, and if it hits, got a lot to gain. So nothing really to do with it on Amazon's side. I think when you're talking about a big series, big movie that's got a lot of money sinking into it, then it's going to be hard to hold back the executives and the notes and all of that. So that'll be the true test. I think you're right to be concerned still about that, Kelly. I think this was just a symbol of what could be.
Well, I would just like to point out that for all the Amazon executives that tune into this podcast
Yeah.
for these updates, like I lambast most everything I see as failing me somehow. But that
And
that little
everyone.
that little maybe that little vignette was man that was spot on. I mean, any critiques about that would be minor. I thought it was an amazing display of what Space Marine mentality would be like
Yeah.
going into that situation and how it would play out. And the fact that just because they're Space Marines, man, they got toasted. Spoiler alert. I thought it was really well done. Really well done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
and I
great.
keep thinking that the plot was the same, basically, as remember we went to your house and right before we were going to play D&D or Star Wars or whatever, we had that DVD that was released of
Oh yeah, I
some
remember
40K
that.
animation, and we're like, oh, this is going to be cool, and it was like not cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it was parts of it were cool, but it was essentially, hey, we need to go over there and do a thing, and they were getting in these little fights as they went over there to do a thing. And then this one felt very much like, hey, we need to go there and do a thing. And it was amazing every step of the way, like how far they've come. Because that was like what we wanted it. We were there. We all sat down excited, and it was somewhat disappointing. This one, I think we weren't expecting it, but man, they hit it out of the park.
They really did. Because I mean, you're not sending in Space Marines to be necessarily your frontline diplomats. That's like your diplomat of last resort, and that's how they marched in. It was quite something.
You're both spot on with that. We've talked about what stories they need to tell and explore and things like that. And how many people have you heard say, "Oh, you can't do a story about Space Marines because they're so uninteresting because they're going to be just robotic, this and that," right? This is proof of concept. If Astartes wasn't, this proves it. Now you got not just okay. A correlation doesn't represent causation. Well, no, this does. This is proof of the pudding right there, because you see the views for that video versus all the other ones they have, and it's just out of the park. Amazing the difference between the two. And like you said, they don't really say a word for the
Yeah.
first or until like the last couple minutes or something. First a little bit, he gives that sentence about, picked a child whose soul and all that, and then at the end,
Mhm.
a revisit of that same thing. In between, nah, nothing. And that's what makes it so cool. That's why people like the Space Marines, is because that's what they're supposed to be. Just like you said, that's the depiction it should be. The depiction that was in the GW effort that they had before, and I wish I could remember the name of it. I still got that DVD. The
Yeah.
thing about that was, and the thing that bugs me about the game, is that there's too much talking. Too much talking. These warriors are all on point. They all are on the same program. They're not going to be like watching a soap opera. And the mistake that people make is trying to make them characters like you would have in another story. The thing that makes them unique and so cool to watch is that they are not like any of that stuff. This is like visiting an entirely different, yet somehow accessible and desirable in certain ways world, where
Yeah.
everybody's on the same point, and that magnifies their power so much. So much so they don't even need to talk, communicate, do anything. They know what each other's going to be doing on the field,
Yeah, and the one character, slight spoilers, with them who was not a Space Marine, right? Which in a storytelling trope, you're like, you've got these amazing Marines. Well, now we need to put an everyman in there to give them the audience perspective, right? They didn't do that either. They just open this thing up and out comes the Psyker. And, he doesn't say anything. Like, everyone is doing their job well. And I really appreciated that too, because like the one guy that's not a Marine, who cares? Like, he did his job, and it wasn't like, wow, you guys are amazing. Like, he's got to tell the audience, what we're supposed to think or feel about these guys. Like, that would have been poor script writing.
right?
And they handled that so well.
Yeah.
That's this. You're right on point. All the rules that people have tried to apply to telling stories about 40K and the Marines and all of that. These two vignettes, as I think Kelly called them, these two vignettes they've had, I'm talking about Astartes and then this one, they are proof that you don't need to follow those tropish, rules that they have for telling a story and having a character arc and all of that stuff. You don't need that stuff. There's a certain, how would you describe it? I mean, cool, of course, but I'm not sure what descriptor you would apply to it as to why it works so well, but it does. There's something, I guess, intrinsic or primal to, to us. We would love to have
Right.
that
And what was the first one the guy did before this one? The one that got him the job?
Astartes.
Was that Astartes?
Yeah.
Right. One of the things I loved about that one is when the Psyker dude gets taken over by the warp or whatever, there was no hesitation. They're just like, oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. And they just, lay into that guy. They're,
Punched him through the face and then shot him.
Right. But like both of them are like, oh, okay, yeah, he's compromised. Blah, 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 blah. And it was so like, there was no hesitation.
No.
They didn't think about it. They didn't be like, oh no, poor Frank. Nope, they just murdered Frank. And I appreciated that. And there was a certain amount of that here. It's like, oh, here's obstacles in the way of where we're trying to go. Let's get them.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But not in I'm excited to be in battle and like, let's go get them. It was just like, you're in my way. I'm going to dispatch you in the most efficient way possible, which makes sense for Space Marines doing what Space Marines do. It's not personal, it's business, right?
Yeah.
And the part that stuck out to me the most was when they're marching in, and the one Space Marine gets shot in the side of the head, and it doesn't do anything. It just like pings off his helmet, and then he turns and dispatches the attacker with style and energy. And it was that, because you think about it, like in the video game setting with Space Marine 2, you're getting your butt handed to you left, right, and center by every little thing that can hurt you. And in this one, you displayed what the Space Marine actually should be able to do. Like when I'm playing Space Marine 2 on the Xbox, I don't really feel like I'm a Space Marine. Like this is not exactly how this would go.
Right.
But in that show, I was like, wow, that's what you expect when you talk about the Space Marines and what you think they would be able to do when they show up. You
Yeah.
know, it's representative of what's in the novels and things, you know?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly right. It's a visual representation of those, not all
That's
the
right.
novels, but the novels that give the heroic
That's right.
portrayal. You know, where you got four guys who show up and they're taking on
Yeah,
everybody.
5's too many. Just send 4. Yeah, 4 will do it. That'll be enough.
Yeah. Yeah, that was amazing that way. And in any other story, you'd have had the old guy talking to the young, boy he found, this whelp who needs to learn, and all this stuff, and having character arcs between it. None of that crap. None.
Yeah, when
None
you
of
can
it.
snatch the power sword from my hand, you
Yeah.
will have earned your pauldron.
Yeah. 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 And he would have had some antagonist. It would have been like Ender's Game, where you have Ender and then you have the Ender's Shadow. What was his name? I can't remember. The other kid who was like the antagonist to
PETA?
him. Was that it? So it would have been
I think so.
it would have been kind of like that, where you got to have the protagonist, you got to have the antagonist in there who's still on his team and kind of pushes him to, that all that stuff. Nope, don't need it.
It is, they held true to the stated ideology of the 40K universe, which is that there's only war, and there was the fear that I would have is somebody coming in and trying to bring a little bit more light to that,
Yeah.
and that would quickly ruin. And look, it's not that you can't have personalities in the 40K universe. I mean, I think all the Primarchs would clearly have some degree of personality,
Sure.
all representing some aspect of whatever they were created to do. And even when you get into the Chaos Marines, there is things to delve into where you could flesh out a story that it's not just all shoot 'em up. But when you get into the primary setting of what the Space Marines are, uh,
Yeah.
leave it what it is.
Yep.
And for the love of God, don't deal with the Imperial Guard. Nobody cares about them.
Right. Don't. Yeah. You want, like you were saying, Kelly, yes, the Marines are absolutely schooled in every aspect. They're given so much psycho, conditioning and all this stuff. But that ain't for what their primary purpose is. And when their primary purpose is brought up, when their mission is go do this, that's it. It's hammer, meat, nail. And there you go.
Yeah.
So
You want
yeah, you're
storyline?
right.
Bring in Sanguinius and let him fly around all wistfully and, dealing with his fates. And that can be your little storyline.
Yeah.
But,
Lament his coming demise.
yeah, exactly. Someday we all die, brothers. you know, and but then just get back at it.
Yeah, well, at least we've got two examples, of it, kind of like with Lord of the Rings. We've got a couple of really good examples of what it should be.
Yeah.
And so at least we live to see that, if nothing else comes of it. But we'll see what happens with it.
Yeah, if this fails, it won't be because there wasn't any indicator of what should be. It'll be because they completely ignored it. And I implore them, please, for the love of God, okay, you took Lord of the Rings away, and it is what it is. But don't piss on this one.
And I will say this too. If you want to enjoy yourself, it's something really cool to see is anyone who is not familiar with 40K or casually so or any of that, seeing that for the first time is really cool. When he grabs that dude and pops his head like a pimple, that was yeah.
Well, like that and the Dawn of War opening cutscene thing from years ago. Remember, with all the orcs and the Space Marines, like those are I feel like are the two high marks. Like that felt like a 40K battle.
Yeah,
to me, it was all chaos and orcs and that was that was what we needed, and it has aged well, I think. And this is a different scale, different theme, whatever, but they're both great, and let's do more of both of those. and less of Rings of Power.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or Dune Prophecy. Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
Dune
less
Prophecy.
of-
Oh gosh.
Yeah, less of that.
Yeah, this is one of those rare cases, and I don't want to start talking about Dune Prophecy, but Rich finished the series. We all fell short of the mark because it was awful, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm done with this."
Yeah, I think Rich.
So good job, Rich.
Rich could have been maybe a Navy SEAL, considering his ability to endure.
Mm.
They got that going for me.
Yeah. Did you have any thoughts you wanted to share about that, Rich? Or
Star Taste or Dune?
Both.
either one. Either one. Not
well-
just Astartes, but I mean that the They Shall Know No Fear or Dune or any of that stuff. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
the guy's name was Sayama Peterson. I looked it up.
There you go.
Yeah, I think the reason why you guys like it so much, and we all liked it. I enjoyed it as well. Is that it stuck you in the middle of the action with no explication. So you didn't need to explain. It was all, if you understood it, you thought it was great because that's what you expected, right? If you didn't understand it, the way it was shot well enough, and the guy had enough understanding of the source material that he could bring across the message. Okay, these are the guys you should be cheering for. These guys are bad guys. This is what you need to know without having to explain it. So it became very apparent very quickly. Okay, these four guys, these are the heroes. They're going to go in there, and these guys that are charging them, and like you said, the one dude who he crushes his head without even thinking about it, he obviously deserved to have his head crushed. Because of the way he appeared.
Yeah.
So I think that director, Mr. Peterson, I think he has a very good talent for putting you in the middle of the action without having to do a lot of explanation. His ability to say, okay, these are the key concepts that I need to bring across for the initiated and the uninitiated equally. It's understandable to everyone. That's why it's popular or successful, I should say. Directors who are good at that with their ability to tell a story, they don't need to give you too much background information. Because if they tried to fill in everything that we know about Space Marines, we'd still be watching it. It'd be ridiculous.
Yeah.
So he was able to bring across a lot of information in a very condensed amount of time without having to explain it, which was very well done. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it. Even some people who didn't know anything about it, who watched it alongside, enjoyed it as well. So,
and that was the coolest thing, man. This one lady, I remember her, so what did she say? Something like when Titus jumps on the tank and chainsaws him, or when it was when the dude grabbed the guy by the head and then popped it.
Yeah.
She was saying something like, why? Oh my God, get out of there, run.
Obviously, they wanted it.
And I was thinking to myself, that is the reaction that you want someone to have when they see the Marines, go to war.
Yeah.
That's what it should be. That was the perfect reaction for everything you've heard about the Marines being described. Like you said, they're the final diplomat. Like, okay, this is it. You don't bend the knee.
So you can imagine how they're going to bring across the Custodes, since the Custodes are the Marine killers, So it's going to be, the levels are going to be very, very stark, I think.
Yeah, swap those Zangors for Marines and Marines for Custodes, and there you go.
And then the Primarchs are above them, and then the Emperor's above them. So you're looking at it from that step of power dynamic, right? But
as long as they have the right people writing it, that's the thing.
As far as Dune Prophecy goes, it was definitely not easy. It ground my gears many times throughout it. The thing that kept me watching, honestly, was the effects.
Really?
The story was pretty horrifying. I mean, I don't know why they have this penchant for doing this, but they want to justify evil as sympathetic, sympathy for the devil. And that's exactly what it was with the Harkonnens and the Bene Gesserit during No one there was good. There weren't good people. They were all terrible, and they still trying to. Oh, you should be sympathetic to her and her plight. No, she sucks. She's a spoiled brat who doesn't like her lot, and her family sucks. And
Well put.
Yeah.
Bro's up there, bro.
Yeah, we're off to a good start this year.
So she sucks, her family sucks, and now she's going to make the galaxy suck. You know, so I mean,
No, you're right. With what I saw of it, I felt nothing for those characters. There was no. Well, I can understand why. There was no. You know.
She was terrible. She was terrible through and through.
It was, yeah. It just couldn't let villains be villains.
A villain,
you
yeah.
know, just, yeah.
And the fact
Right,
that
like my biggest part where that one girl goes and poisons the entire other family. Right, you know, she's it's an Arya Stark moment.
Ways in there, she's
crying about it. I'm like, you're getting your revenge.
Yeah.
You know, be a badass and get your revenge. Don't feel bad about it. Like there was way too much crying. Like if you're gonna go do the evil things or the things that must be done but are difficult to do, even if from their perspective maybe it's not evil. It's like I've got to avenge my family. Whatever that is. That's a noble revenge. Like handle it. Right, but don't break down and be a little wimpy crying about it. Like I did what needed doing.
Well, it got worse because you're not going to see the end, but it's brought up in the last episode. And I'm going to spoil it for all of you. The guy with the superpowers, that's her kid from that Atreides guy. She got impregnated during that when she murdered everybody. So he's half Atreides, half Harkonnen through her. And she saved him and swapped him out with a dead kid that was stillborn to keep him alive. It's ludicrous. But if they bring in the Telexians at the end, his abilities aren't due to the Arrakis. They're due to the Telexu and the shape-shifting race. So they come up in the last two episodes, and they're a big part of those Brian Herbert books. So they came in at the end of the of Frank Herbert's stuff, and that's where he was going with them. That the Telexu were a big part of what was going on with the Golas and everything else. But the two eyes, they're not eyes. It's a machine eye that when it focuses, they basically pull out attach machines to it, and that's how he burns people up. There's a thinking machine attached to his eye stalk going into his brain. So. But those two eyes actually, the dream is, everyone thought, oh, it's a trait, it's Leto, right? No, they merged together into one blue mechanical eye, like all the Butlerian machines had, and then there's a shadowy figure in the background. The thought is that it's a Telexian guy who survived the Butlerian jihad, and that he's a big part. He's kind of half.
Oh my god! Now you spoiled it for me.
Yeah, I know.
Oh no!
I know you're never gonna watch it. Spoilers. It was terrible. It was not good.
Yeah.
It was all
but it was also half medieval. You've got characters from Game of Thrones that could be literally sitting at Winterfell. And I'm like, I thought we were watching sci-fi. Everybody's wearing cloaks and hanging around a mead table, and I was like, huh?
Yeah. There were a lot of feasts. Yeah, there were multiple feasts in the last 4 episodes. They always were sitting down to eat. It's a very feminine thing. They sit down over coffee and have a conversation. And that's, it seems to be like that in many of these shows which portray themselves as these dynamic action epic stories. And then it just turns to a fucking coffee clutch. I mean, it makes me irritated. Let's eat something and have a conversation about our feelings.
Yeah,
and that happened. It happened multiple times.
You can have a story like that.
Yes,
but you better have the adeptness to be able to write it of the caliber of The Sopranos. And if you can't do that,
Thrones first, few seasons,
or
the Game of Thrones, all except maybe the last 2 seasons.
Sure, but I'm talking about as a visual adaptation.
But Game of Thrones was a war story, and it remained a war story all throughout. Even though it had those sequences, it was always a war story. There were multiple wars going on, wars between the humans, war between the ice people and the humans, wars between the North and the South. I mean, that always was in the background. Whereas this, it was portrayed as a war story, right? It's a struggle between the Atreides, the Harkonnens, the Carinos, and the formation of the galaxy, right? How that world power came together. But then it just turned into, oh, well, we're going to have sex and we're going to eat and we're going to have a conversation and we're going to have this intrigue between these characters about their feelings.
That's why I said, that's why I was saying, if you're going to do something like that, that's why I gave the example.
Mm-hmm.
You better have the ability to write on of the caliber of like a Sopranos kind of show.
They did not.
Where you draw people in with, here's a gangster show.
They hit somewhere beneath that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But I'm saying you can do it, but if you don't have that ability to write to that level, you're just going to bore the hell out of everybody.
It was just. It was a bait and switch, you know. It's like, oh, I thought it was going to be this thing, and it was going to be this amazing story, science fiction story, and it just turned into another, you know. These women are angry at each other.
I know, like I came in hoping for the, I was like, oh, Dune Prophecy, I'm there. Let's do this. I liked the movies, let's go. And the thing is, I'm so frustrated with HBO because HBO is pulling out some of the best entertainment I've ever seen. Sopranos, The Wire, Game of Thrones, like these are 3 of just about everybody's top 10, and it feels like they're also in the bottom 10.
Now I don't want you to say anything about it, but I'm going to ask you, since we're coming up to the end here, I'm going to ask you on that same point. Okay. Is it worthwhile watching Penguin?
Do you want me to answer that or no?
Yeah, do you
100% yes. Penguin is great.
Okay. Because you know how I felt about the movie.
Right. No, Penguin was really, really good. Like it was Sopranos level good almost. You know what I mean? Like almost, but I understand why it wasn't because of what they're trying to accomplish with the show. But yes, definitely watch Penguin if you haven't seen it. It has 2 thumbs up.
All right. Because I don't know if you've ever seen Michael Franchise.
I know who he is.
Yeah, I know who he is.
I know who he is.
Okay. He's got a channel and, reviews a bunch of stuff and all
that.
Oh, yeah. And he reviewed The Penguin, and he was all about it. Said it was really well done. He said it's not like the Mafia at all, stuff like that. But he said his entertainment and characters and all of that, said it was great. Loved it. 100%.
He's the ex-mobster who talks about the Mafia now. Yep.
Right. Yeah. As a matter of fact, in the beginning of Goodfellas, that they introduce him as one of the people. Yeah. In the bar when they're going through there. So I saw that and I was like, maybe I should give it a shot then. So, all right.
No, you should give it a shot. I think you will enjoy it.
I will also say that I think you will enjoy Creature Commandos. I've watched all of those so far, and I found them to be. At the beginning, I wasn't sure. I said, this seems kind of. I didn't really jive with me, but by the end of the 6th episode, I said, okay, this is decent. This is worth watching. So,
all right.
Where is that? What is that on?
Max.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I will do that then as I bike myself to an early grave. I won't do so. All right. Kelly, did you look into getting anything for yourself?
I'm looking around. I think I'm going to put it over in my dining room that I don't use.
Okay. Yeah. Just make sure you take care of the floor. You don't want to destroy the floor.
Yeah. No, I have some matting that I used when I cycled before, that I put on the floor to protect that.
All right. Or you could do like in Aquatine and just put a pile of clothes there. And
apparently I have to go revisit that to understand the opening to this particular episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah, I didn't know where we were going with that either.
I'm telling you, you should. You'll laugh hilariously at it as you remember the memory of this intro. Last Dance for Napkin Lad was the name of the episode. Do watch that, please. I beg you.
Yeah.
I beg you. It was one of the best episodes ever. It was awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I love each and every one of you so deeply and wetly. I just want you to know that so much.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time. Until then.
This concludes our Speak Nerd and Enter broadcast.